Hey guys, how is everybody? How's everybody doing? Good? Well, I could not be more miserable. So last night I got done watching Transformers: The Last Night, which is stupid fucking title. It has nothing to do about this movie. Starting off with my positives on this stupid fucking movie is I did like Mark Wahlberg returning. I thought he was a nice addition to this franchise when he was introduced to Transformers: Age of Extinction. And I did like to see him come back, but he did quit after this movie because they made him look weak, basically. Which I don't think they did. I think they used him pretty well, and I think he was a nice addition to the franchise until they rebooted the franchise. Yet again. Moving on to my negatives. Yeah, this movie fucking sucks. What I hate about this movie is these new characters. Especially these kids that were first introduced. When we're first introduced to this movie, the first thing that we see is like these weird army things in a way. But right after that, we cut to like 4 or 5 kids and they just go into the area that the Autobots and all these other like Transformers fought in the fourth movie. And they go over there and then this one kid's just like, "Oh, we could go in here. We're kids. We can get away with anything." I'm like, "I'm sorry. Either you're that fucking stupid, or you need to get your fucking like your fucking scalped open and then just pick at your brain for about 5 minutes. Like, are you that stupid?" And then you get like this new like a girl that's like Mark Wahlberg's daughter, like whatever the fuck it is, whoever the fuck she is. They don't really say. And then yeah, she is just like there. She has nothing to do. She's just fucking there. She does nothing in this movie. She's just there. And the only thing that she does in this movie is that she wants to help out with Transformers and that. I was like, "Okay, cool. What's the purpose of this character? She's just fucking there." And then you get Anthony Hopkins' character who like has nothing else to do in this movie. He's a nice addition, but he has nothing to do. They give him a stupid script. They give him a stupid character that does nothing. He's on screen for maybe 30 minutes and then he dies. He does absolutely nothing. All of these characters do nothing. And then you get like this intelligent girl that Michael Bay probably is just like, "Oh, she's how I'll hire her. Oh shit, I can't make myself look like a pervert. She's got a nice ass and tits. I have to make her do something. Let's make her smart." That's basically that the new character in this movie that like knows all of this stuff that's going on. And I'm not lying. I feel that's what Michael Bay was actually feeling. He's like, "Oh, this smoking hot girl. Maybe I actually let her do something. I'll make her intelligent and then make her look like she knows what the fuck she's doing." Comedy in this movie does not land at all. There's no points in this movie that made me chuckle. I was just more mad. Like every time they did a gag, I was just like, I think my brain just committed suicide. Like we get it introduced to the intelligent girl, and then like she's pulling up and she knocks a bike over. I don't know if that was played for laughs. I don't know what the purpose of that was. There's no point in this entire movie that got me to chuckle once. I was sitting there like every time there's a gag, I was just like, "Oh, was I supposed to laugh there?" Well, it didn't work. This is Michael Bay humor. It's Michael Bay humor. What the hell else do you fucking want? It's not that good. It's not funny. It serves no purpose, and it shouldn't even fucking be there. I don't know if it was just me who noticed this. I saw that like 3 or 4 other people, like, because I looked this up, yeah, and they said this too. The random points in this movie, it would just go from like just regular screen, like when you put on a movie, it would just have like the two black things on the top and bottom and just have like a regular screen. But every like 5 seconds, it would go from this to this, like a wider screen. It would do this and that. It would go from an IMAX screen to a regular screen. And I was sitting there, I'm like, is there something wrong with the thing that I just rented? I had to rent this movie. Like I didn't know what was going on. I was like, did I like rent like a weird copy of it? Then I looked it up and people was like, "Oh, this movie was also just filmed in like regular cameras and IMAX cameras." And I was like, why just film it with one camera? I don't want to see my screen go from this to this like every 5 seconds, and I'm not joking. I would count it. Sometimes it would go from 2 to 3 seconds. It would do that. I don't know what the purpose of that was. Rather just shoot it with regular cameras or just IMAX cameras. I feel they didn't know what to do, and they just said, Oh, just use both. It felt like they had like two cameras over here that are regular cameras and two IMAX cameras just sitting over there. And then like they would randomly turn off and then they would just go there and they would just take turns, like go back and forth like every 5 seconds. Like I was sitting there like, choose one position and stop. Talk about just the story of this movie. We've already seen this story. The Autobots are happy, they're just living their lives. Humans have learned to basically befriend the Autobots. Oh, and then there's like these villainous Autobots that come to Earth to take around this stick thing that become a sword. That's the entire story. We've seen it before. We've seen this movie before. Like I'm not joking. They've taken like the last four writing. They I feel that they took the four writers of the other four movies and they just came into a group and they had like no ideas for this movie, and they just said, "Oh, you know what we should do? We should just make the same movie." Okay, I'm gonna jog down just ideas. So, okay, what else do we got? Oh, just more Autobots coming into Earth to kill everybody. Oh, we should instead of like a cube, we should just add like a stick. Like we should go back to like the 1600 AD, and we should have about like a stick that could turn into a sword that could like save all of humanity. There we go. It's the same story, but we add like a stick that could turn into a sword. It's different now. And I know I already talked about this, but Optimus Prime, he's basically not even in this movie. Sure, Revenge of the Fallen, he was hardly in that movie, but he had a purpose why he wasn't in it. He died, which I thought was a more better idea for him not being in the movie than it was in this movie. In this movie, at the end of Age of Extinction, he flew into space. And then when we see Optimus Prime, he's just floating around in space, just frozen, and he just looks dead. And then the people that supposedly created him, they save him, and then they tell him that they were the creators of Optimus Prime. And then they say they want to brainwash him, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, totally." And he was only on screen for 5 minutes, and then he disappeared for like another hour. I'm not joking. He was on screen for like 5 minutes. He disappeared for an hour, and then it would cut to another scene where they're like torturing him and like reprogramming him, which was only like a 2 minute scene. And then for the rest of the movie, he's gone, and he doesn't show up to the final act of the goddamn movie. And then I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, Optimus Prime exists. Who would have knew that? I would have preferred to see this movie where Optimus Prime does get like his he does get reprogrammed. I would have preferred the entire movie just him like where he's going after that stick and all the other Autobots and humans are trying to stop him because they know that there's something wrong with him. I would have preferred to see that movie. But no, that's the last 40 minutes of the movie. Instead, the movie that we got was the same fucking movie that we've already had. Can we get something original? Oh, no? Oh, we just want another $1 billion when this movie only made $600.5 million. Great. You guys cannot tell I hate this movie. I have nothing else to say. This movie is dog shit. I hate this movie. It is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And for this trying to be a Transformers movie, I am so glad Michael Bay said that this was the final movie that he was making. Sure, he produced Bumblebee and the new Rise of Beast movie, but he is done directing, and I'm glad. Because I got done watching Bumblebee, and after watching these movies, wow, this is a movie you just skip. Don't even bother with it. It's bad. It's that bad. You might think I'm overreacting, but no. It's bad. It's that fucking bad. From all my negatives, what did you guys think of this movie? Do you enjoy it for some goddamn reason? Or are you like almost every other fan base of this franchise and saying that it is dog shit? Let me know in the comments below and we will talk about it. If you like this video, like it. If you loved it, subscribe and hit the bell notification so you will get notified for my latest videos. But until my next video, take care.